Genetic modification is a rapidly evolving field, with scientists working tirelessly to unlock the secrets of our genetic code. The technology has the potential to revolutionize our world, from curing diseases to enhancing physical abilities. For example, gene therapy has shown tremendous promise in treating genetic disorders such as sickle cell anemia and cystic fibrosis. Additionally, genetically modified crops have the potential to feed the world's growing population, as they are more resistant to pests and disease. Despite these potential benefits, genetic modification raises numerous ethical concerns. One of the primary concerns is the creation of designer babies, where parents could select traits such as height, eye color, and intelligence for their children. This leads to the question, is it ethical to genetically engineer humans and play God with our genetic code? Another concern is the potential for genetic discrimination. If individuals are genetically predisposed to certain conditions, insurance companies and employers may discriminate against them. Additionally, genetic modification raises concerns about the commodification of life. Would only the wealthy have access to these technologies, creating an uneven playing field? As the technology continues to develop, it raises even more complex ethical questions. With the potential for genetic enhancement, will we create a genetic underclass of individuals who have not been genetically modified? Additionally, what is the impact on biodiversity when genetically modified crops are introduced into the environment? And what about the possibility of unintended consequences, such as the creation of superbugs or unforeseen environmental effects? These ethical concerns are not easy to answer, and they require careful consideration and debate. As we continue to unlock the secrets of our genetic code, we must grapple with the ethical implications of these technologies. Join us in this video as we explore the fascinating world of genetic modification and the ethical dilemmas it raises. Genetic modification is a powerful tool that has opened up new avenues of research and development. It has the potential to revolutionize fields such as medicine, agriculture, and biotechnology. The science behind genetic modification is complex and involves altering the DNA sequence of an organism. This can be achieved in several ways, such as introducing new genetic material, removing or silencing genes, or modifying existing genes. One of the most significant advancements in genetic modification is the development of CRISPR-Cas9 technology. CRISPR-Cas9 is a powerful gene editing tool that allows scientists to precisely target and modify specific genes in an organism's DNA. This technology has opened up new avenues of research and development, including the potential to cure genetic diseases and develop new crops that are resistant to pests and diseases. In addition to the potential benefits, genetic modification raises a number of ethical concerns. The manipulation of an organism's genetic code raises questions about the safety and unintended consequences of these modifications. For example, genetically modified organisms, GMOs, can potentially introduce new allergens or toxins into the environment. Additionally, the patenting of genetically modified organisms raises concerns about the commercialization and control of these technologies. Despite these concerns, the potential benefits of genetic modification cannot be ignored. In the field of medicine, gene therapy holds tremendous promise for treating genetic disorders and diseases. In agriculture, genetically modified crops have the potential to increase yields and reduce the use of pesticides and herbicides. As the science of genetic modification continues to evolve, it is important that we carefully consider the ethical implications of these technologies. It is crucial that we strike a balance between the potential benefits and the risks associated with genetic modification. Join us in this video as we explore the fascinating world of genetic modification and the complex ethical questions it raises. The ability to create designer babies is one of the most controversial aspects of genetic modification. While this technology is not yet advanced enough to allow for complete control over a baby's genetic makeup, it is theoretically possible to select for certain traits such as height, eye color, and intelligence. This raises significant ethical concerns about the role of genetic modification in society. Should parents have the right to select the physical and intellectual traits of their children? Would this lead to a society where only the genetically perfect are valued? Another concern with genetic modification is the potential for genetic discrimination. If individuals are genetically predisposed to certain conditions, They may be discriminated against by insurance companies, employers, or even society at large. This could lead to a society where individuals are valued based on their genetic makeup rather than their inherent worth as human beings. Additionally, the commercialization of genetic information could lead to a situation where only those who can afford genetic testing and modification have access to these technologies. This creates an uneven playing field, where those who are wealthy have access to advantages that others do not. The ethical concerns raised by genetic modification are complex and multifaceted. While there is no easy answer to these questions, it is important to carefully consider the potential benefits and risks of these technologies. It is crucial that we develop regulations and ethical guidelines that balance the potential benefits of genetic modification with the risks and potential for harm. As we continue to explore the fascinating world of genetic modification, it is important to remember that we are dealing with complex ethical questions that require thoughtful consideration and discussion. As genetic modification technology continues to develop, it raises even more complex ethical questions that we must consider. One potential concern is the creation of a genetic underclass. If genetic modification becomes widely available, there may be pressure on individuals to genetically enhance themselves or their children to keep up with those who have already been modified. This could create a societal divide between those who have been genetically enhanced and those who have not, leading to a new form of inequality. Another area of concern is the impact of genetically modified crops on biodiversity. When genetically modified crops are introduced into the environment, there is a risk that they could negatively impact the surrounding ecosystem. This is because genetically modified crops are often designed to be resistant to pests and herbicides, which can lead to the proliferation of superbugs and the development of resistant weeds. This could have unintended consequences, such as reducing biodiversity and potentially disrupting the food chain. Finally, there is the concern of unintended consequences. Genetic modification is a powerful technology, but it is not without risks. There is a risk that genetic modification could create unintended side effects, such as the creation of new diseases or the disruption of natural ecosystems. It is important that we carefully consider the potential risks and benefits of genetic modification before we proceed with the widespread use of this technology. In conclusion, genetic modification has the potential to revolutionize medicine and agriculture, but it also raises complex ethical questions that must be carefully considered. It is crucial that we develop regulations and ethical guidelines that balance the potential benefits of genetic modification with the potential risks and unintended consequences. By doing so, we can ensure that this powerful technology is used ethically and responsibly, for the benefit of all humanity. The technology's potential is immense, but we must consider the ethical implications carefully. What do you think about genetic modification?